Imagine this. One gunshot echoes through a quiet European street, and that single moment sets the entire world on fire. Millions die, empires collapse, borders change forever, and humanity realizes for the first time what modern war truly looks like. This is the story of World War I, the war that split history in two. And in the next 1 hour, you're going to hear the full story, from the spark that started it to the moment the guns finally fell silent. The year is 1900. Europe is booming. Science, industry, and technology are growing faster than ever before. But with all this progress comes pride, competition, and fear. Every major nation is building huge armies, powerful navies, and deadly new weapons. Britain controls the seas with the world's strongest navy. Germany is the rising giant, industrializing at lightning speed. France is still a strong empire, but deeply angry about losing territory to Germany years earlier. Russia is massive, but weak inside. Austria-Hungary is falling apart from internal tensions, and the Ottoman Empire is slowly dying. Europe is basically a giant powder keg, and all it needs is a spark. That spark comes on June 28, 1914. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, is visiting Sarajevo with his wife Sophie. Among the crowd is a young nationalist named Gavrilo Princip. Angry, emotional, and desperate to free his people, Princip pulls out a pistol and fires 2 shots. The Archduke and his wife are killed instantly. A simple assassination, but it shakes the world. Austria blames Serbia. Serbia refuses to bow. Russia supports Serbia. Germany backs Austria. France stands with Russia. Britain stands with France. One alliance after another falls into place like dominoes. And in just a few weeks, nearly every major power in Europe is at war. Germany launches its bold strategy, the Schlieffen Plan, hoping to crush France quickly before Russia can fully mobilize. To reach France, Germany invades Belgium, but Belgium's invasion brings Britain into the war too. Germany moves fast, reaching within 25 miles of Paris. The world believes France is about to fall. But at the Battle of the Marne, French forces push Germany back. And this is where the war becomes something no one expected. A long, brutal, static nightmare called trench warfare. Across hundreds of miles, soldiers dig deep trenches into the earth. Long, muddy pits filled with rats, freezing water, disease, fear, and death. Between these trenches lies a deadly stretch called no man's land. Machine guns sweep across it. Artillery shells rain down day and night. Poison gas rolls in with the wind. Soldiers spend months living in mud, snow, blood, and terror. The new technology of this war, machine guns, tanks, flamethrowers, barbed wire, gas, makes it one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. Thousands die in a single day, but the front lines barely move. The war spreads far beyond Europe. The Ottoman Empire joins the Central Powers. Battles erupt in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. Over 1 million Indian soldiers fight for Britain. Forces from Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa join the fight. Japan enters the war against Germany. This truly becomes the world's first global war. At sea, German U-boat submarines try to choke off Britain's supplies. They sink ships across the Atlantic. One of them, the Lusitania, carries American passengers. When it goes down, killing 128 Americans, the United States becomes furious. In the skies, new fighter planes take warfare to the air for the first time. Pilots engage in dangerous dogfights, flying fragile machines with little protection. It's deadly, experimental, and thrilling, and it changes warfare forever. Then comes 1916, the year of pure hell. Two of the bloodiest battles in history, Verdun and the Somme. Verdun becomes a symbol of endless suffering, with over 300,000 dead. At the Somme, on the very first day, the British suffer 57,000 casualties, the worst day in their military history. So much blood spills that rivers literally turn red. Yet after months of fighting, almost nothing changes on the map. The war feels endless. By 1917, the world starts to shift. Germany grows desperate and resumes unrestricted submarine warfare, sinking any ship they find. At the same time, a secret German message called the Zimmermann telegram is intercepted, revealing a plan to help Mexico attack the United States. This is the final straw. America enters the war. Fresh American troops, food, money, and energy begin flooding into Europe. The Allies are reborn with new strength. Meanwhile, Russia collapses from within. A revolution overthrows the Tsar. The new Bolshevik government signs a peace treaty with Germany, pulling Russia out of the war. Germany now moves all their troops to the Western Front and launches a huge attack in 1918, the Spring Offensive. At first, they push forward, gaining ground they hadn't seen in years. But they are exhausted, starving, and out of supplies. And the newly arrived American troops help stop them. Inside Germany, the situation becomes desperate. People are starving. The economy is collapsing. Soldiers mutiny. Protests break out. Finally, the German Kaiser abdicates and flees the country. The government has no choice left. On November 11, 1918, at 11 a.m., the guns finally fall silent. The Great War, the war to end all wars, is over. But the cost is unimaginable. Around 10 million soldiers are dead. Over 20 million are wounded. Millions of civilians die from hunger, disease, and bombings. 4 great empires collapse: Germany, Austria-Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, and Imperial Russia. Entire nations vanish, and new ones are created. The map of Europe is rewritten. The Treaty of Versailles places heavy punishments on Germany: crushing debt, loss of land, and national humiliation. And inside that humiliation, anger begins to grow. A few years later, a man named Adolf Hitler will rise by exploiting that anger, and the world will be dragged into an even darker war. But that is another story. World War I changed everything: politics, technology, warfare, society. It showed humanity the true power of industrial destruction. Even today, the old trenches still exist, quiet and overgrown, but beneath that soil lies the memory of millions who never came home. The Great War ended, but its lessons echo through time. In war, no one truly wins. Everyone loses something.